So today we are traveling some more. We're on the Wabash River, and today we're starting at Mount Carmel, Illinois. It's one of the biggest ones on the river, and it's got about 7,000 people. It started back in the 1800s, back where the Wabash and White Rivers come together, which I'll show a video clip of that. There's a lot of people around. They had a lot of fur trade, a lot of honey trade, and it all went down river to New Orleans and stuff. Then later on, which we'll learn about, the airline railroad come through, which these bridges right over there are part of that. Originally it come across, and they had to flatboat the rail cars across to the trains. That made Mount Carmel into a major railroad hub, and it also got a boom in the 1930s for the oil. And we'll go up to Market Street and look around the town up there, and you can see what we got up there. We're going to step in this museum and see what they have to offer for us. So this was like a desk for what you do in the oil fields, which had maps showing where all the oil wells were drilled and all the equipment used. Pretty cool. One of the things we haven't talked about with the Wabash River is it was freshwater mussel shells that would do pearls, and then also they would use the shells and cut buttons. As you can see, there are the holes where they cut the buttons out. We'll come around here, and there are a couple of the buttons right down there. Here we got a driller head with a drilling core from Lawrence County, and some more drill cores. This here shows the first oil well in Wabash County in 1912. So a lot of people don't know, and I didn't until I got researching, that the man that did the voice to the Lone Ranger on the radio broadcast was from Mount Carmel. So these two mannequins are Fred Boyd, which was the voice of the Lone Ranger, and then the one on the right was Bruce Beamer wearing the Bruce suit. And this is how they would set up to do the radio broadcast. So these are some of the tools that they use to make the noise, and they used coconut shells to make the sound of the hoof clopping. So right back here you can see how they did it. So if you're ever in Mount Carmel, be sure to check this museum out, because this is quite interesting and something I didn't know. They got a lot of information and memorabilia for the Lone Ranger. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but here's a railroad bridge that went over the Wabash River to Mount Carmel, and talks about that in 1954 is done in all steel. This here's a picture of a train wreck that happened, and it was 1904 on Christmas. And this rusty piece is part of the steam dome that they found later on in the woods. I don't know how well you can see this, but this is a 1925 bar map for Mount Carmel, and this shows the roundhouse and work area for the Big Four Railroad Shop, which was the Cairo to Vincennes railroad line. And that line went right up through here. And it was on the Walnut Street and 9th Street. I'll just give you a quick run through here. I'll let you see some of the exhibits they got for rural life. They got some buggies down here. Come around on this side, and they got carriages, and shows you how it's all set up. So this is Market Street, downtown Mount Carmel. If you ever get a chance, swing in this museum that they have for White County, because they have a lot of information that I didn't really didn't know. So we'll head on down to the next place. So we moved on to the next town, which is St. Francisville, and it's got a lot of history. It is where Colonel George Rogers Clark and his army crossed the Wabash River on its way to victory in Vincennes. And here's the first historical marker they got for it. So I'm standing now at an area they call, I think it's called Clark's Point or Clark's Port. Anyway, this is St. Francisville's also River Park. It's a very beautiful place. Let you guys have a look. But this is also the place that they camped on this side of the river, and they crossed the river to over there, right over in there, and that's where they headed towards Vincennes. So we're only about 6 miles downriver of Vincennes. If you guys hang loose, I got another little surprise for y'all that a lot of people don't know about around here. When I see an old gas station, I gotta stop and look at it anymore. I just think they're neat. And this one here is an old Zephyr station. As you see, the neighbor dogs ain't too happy with me. It's a pretty nice little station. So this here is a typical log cabin when the town finally becomes St. Francisville, and it was donated to the women's club, and moved here and made up a historical marker. So somewhere around 1909, this bridge was constructed, and it's a wooden bridge, and I don't know if I can show you anything or not. That was constructed over the Cairo Vincennes railroad line, which you can see that ditch line right down there. The reason it was built was because they moved it up here because of the flooding so bad down closer to the Wabash River that they moved it up here. Hello. I forget, they got a light up here to tell you? No, you just go?
Yeah, you have to just watch.
Okay.
Make sure there's not anybody there bouncing.
So we're going to stop in and visit Lieutenant Colonel James Johnson's tombstone. He survived the Revolutionary War and come back to St. Francisville and is buried here. Lived right next to this bridge that we're getting ready to cross. Take a little walk down here. It is said that he lived right down in this area, and that's the reason why he's buried here. You can see tombstone over here. That's also why they know a lot more about where Clark camped and where he crossed at because of him. So as you can see, this is his marker. James Johnson, Lieutenant Colonel of the Pennsylvania Militia, Revolutionary War. He was born in June 9th, 1752, buried in September the 8th, 1826. And it's just a short walk from where we parked our Jeep. All right. So if you look right up through here, this is the old Cairo Vincennes railroad line, which was also towed or turned into the Big Four Rail Company. You come across, and right down this road follows that line, and we're going to cross over the bridge that used to be a railroad bridge. So you won't get on the other side. So here's the Wabash Cannonball Bridge, and as you can see, it is one lane, and it's going over the Wabash River. So you got 2 lanes of traffic go down to one bridge, and it goes over the wooden planks, and you just got to take your pick. So here we go. Pardon the noise ahead of time. We got windows down and we're heading across. And as you can see,
there's a car.
There's a car up there. Take a picture of her. Some wood there, you guys may not like traveling on it. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed the ride across the bridge. It's a fun time. So this will pretty well wrap it up for this time. If you like the video, subscribe and like it. Check out our website, oldfolksadventures.com. And I think I'm going to wrap this up and take my wife to lunch since we're close to Vincennes. Later.